Hey guys, welcome to my channel. And today, I'll be reading a Todoroki Reader fanfic by fiction plays on archive of our own. So let's get into it. It's alright, man. I couldn't sleep anyway. You're in Choto's dorm. You're in Choto's dorm after having woken up from a horrible nightmare. There were times when terrible images would plague your dreams for days, weeks even. In this case, you had tried to keep your sleeping troubles to yourself. But of course, as always, Shoto could tell. You had not replied to his text as much as before, trying to get as much rest as possible during the day. You went to school with really bad bags under your eyes, working around the caring questions your friends had asked. But what really confirmed his suspicions was when he asked if you wanted to have a movie night, and you said you couldn't. He did that out of fear of falling asleep and waking him up with night tremors. Another annoying side effect of your nightmares. Are you sure, Shoto? You have already done so much. And now, after showing up at his dorm, tears in your eyes, your hands shaking, he let you in with the most loving of eyes. You sat on the edge of his recently ruffled bed, still warm from his body. He brought you a glass of water from downstairs and gave you one of your favorite hoodies of his. It was made of what felt like the softest piece of clothing ever, and it always had his calming scent, kind of like a light lavender. Now, he was suggesting you stay the night at his dorm, since you had been third years. Aizawa was a bit more lenient, and he wouldn't say anything about you two sleeping over. He trusted that everyone was old enough to make wise decisions and such. At least, you did not have to worry about getting in trouble with him. That honestly wasn't really what was worrying you. You just didn't want to risk waking up Shoto in the middle of the night, shaking. You knew he would never judge you, especially with everything that came with his upbringing. But nonetheless, you would still feel a bit embarrassed. You didn't want to seem weak or fragile. You were known as one of the strongest students in Class 3A, even making your way out to the top 3 of UA. It caused you to stop being so vulnerable in front of your classmates, being strong for everyone else, and breaking down in your dorm later, alone. Lian, you know you never have to hide how you're feeling from me, right? And of course, I'm sure. You seem like something's on your mind though. It may help if you get that out before sleeping. His gaze flickered from each of your eyes to your lips, which you were so desperately trying to stop from covering. No tears. No tears, Lian. I know it's not always easy to talk to others, and I'm by no means forcing you to spell. But no matter what you say, you're still going to spend the night in my arms. No harm done. His words spoiled something deep within you. It was like he reached into your brain and pulled out your doubts and fears of opening up. Maybe it was alright to tell him a little of what's been nagging at you. You sighed. Okay. I've been having nightmares. Bad ones. You meet his eyes, drawing a shaky breath with his encouraging nod. It's like every time I think about the fact that one day I'll be a pro hero, comes the realization that there will be so many people that I won't be able to save. No, not again. The tears. I knew you'd end up crying like this. Some nights I go to bed and there's a little voice in my head, constantly telling me that I'll never be good enough. Never be able to save anyone's life. Never help anyone. You look up, feeling the salty droplets falling from your face. Shoto's hand slowly comes up and wipes them away before meeting your stare. You quickly scoff and look away. I mean, just look at how pathetic I am. crying over something so stupid. You begin to shape your features into an emotion, close to anger, but it doesn't meet your eyes. No real pro hero would be so delicate. No, you're wrong. His soft, calloused hands reached out and grabbed yours, and before you knew it, you were involved in a huge warm hug. The best of heroes, lead with delicacy. Their strength comes from it. That fear of needing to save everyone possible is their main drive. It's what makes them fight and put their life on the line. But you can't let that fear consume you. You just have to use it as a fuel. By now, you couldn't hold it back anymore. The tears were flowing, and you were letting them. There was nowhere you'd feel safer. His words were indescribable comfort to you. After so many nights of thinking in your overwhelming doubt, hearing that you weren't actually crazy was something you needed. How did he always know what exactly to say? Once you calmed down a bit, he tucked you into his bed and sided up next to you, rubbing soft circles onto your leg. The crying fatigue had, and not even 2 minutes later, after closing your eyes, you were out. It was now almost 4 in the morning, and it wasn't going well. The screams were back. They need your help. Why weren't you helping? Why was your body frozen? They were right. You could never live up to anyone's expectations. When it came down to it, everyone's blood would be on your hands. No one to blame but you. You woke up with a jolt. Quickly sitting up, your chest was heaving, gulping down air as fast as you could. Your eyes scanned the room you were in. Oh yeah, Shoto. He was still laying down, but his eyes were open, carefully watching. You clenched your eyelids closed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake you up. Are you alright, Ryan? He reached for your arm, thumb softly caressing. Yeah, don't worry about me. I'm fine. He got your lie from a mile away. You watched as he got up and slipped on a jacket and shoes. Stay here. I'll be right back. He nodded. Great. Yeah, just scared him off. And sooner than expected, he came back, holding a mug. Now you're rather confused. Okay, here. Drink this. He handed you the mug, reading your confused gaze. It's something I learned to make when I started getting really bad insomnia. My dad never cared if I got enough sleep, and he still always made me train for hours the next day. I realized I would need to sleep, even if I couldn't, and figured out how to make that. He nodded with a steaming drink. It's a calming tea, with a hint of some other mellowing factors, guaranteed to get you back to resting. You smelled the grateful thanks and took a sip. The warmth traveled down your throat, soothing any lingering tension. Already, you could feel the weight of sleepiness come over you. Wow, Shoto, that's really good. Thank you. He gave you a nod while yawning. Oh yeah, it's the middle of the night. You have school in 3 hours. After finishing off the last of the magic drink he gave you, he settled back in for the night. Now, he laid with his head on your chest, anchoring you to the bed. Good night, Shoto. Good night, Wayan. Closing your eyes and letting sleep take you, you heard one more whisper before you lulled away. I think I'm falling in love with you, Wayan.